Go ahead, I'm in.
What's good with y'all? Welcome back, Spill the Beans podcast. Here again. Y'all see season 2. We got a special guest, another special guest today. My boy Vontae.
Zoo.
Baby.
What's up with y'all boys, man? Thank you for having me.
For sure. Y'all already know who I am, Mike Tuck. My boy Mike D over here. My boy Real. It's what it is. Spill the beans. We're going to jump right into it. So Vontae, give our audience a little taste of like, just tell them what you do. Like, you know, what's your creative expression and all that stuff.
So like I like to tell people, you know me, I'm a poet, I'm an artist, I'm a DJ. Really, I could be whatever you need as long as we can negotiate a fee.
Right.
Thing, you know me. But personally, I'm a person that, you know, I like to indulge in any endeavor that really fits me, to say the least. And, you know, I'm all for trying something new. If it fits, it fits. If it don't, it don't. So that's how I know what I don't want to do and what I can do.
It's just an all-time entrepreneur, pretty much.
Exactly. I put my mind to it. I can do it.
That green.
Got to. Can't be broke.
So what was the first thing that you dabbled in that wasn't like, I know you went to college and everything, but what was the first thing that you started to try to, you know, make money or just to see if you're good at it or whatever?
My first hustle, I probably was like, I think I was like 5, 6. I was selling candy. Like,
that's cool.
At the crib. My mom was like, because me and my cousin, we used to always go skating and stuff. Mm-hmm. So my mom was like, I ain't about to keep paying for y'all to go skating.
Gotta figure it out.
So she supplied us with our first little batch of candy, and like we used to sell the Dixie cups out until the third out the crib. Everybody knocking on the door. That's how we started our hustle. Had our, you know, our skating money, and then we just stacked it up. And then, you know, remember them little big old like beer bottle, like
like the piggy bank things with candy in it, like the Tootsie Rolls, stuff like that.
I used to fill them all the way up, try to make me some money, then take it to Kroger and dump it in the machine.
In the change thing.
You didn't know they was going to wax on the back end of
No, I did not.
They gonna take a little $5.
Like, hold on.
You know how hard I worked for them $5? $5 was a lot of money back then.
You should sell them CDs too, because I used to be in that game back instead.
Nah, I ain't sell CDs.
I used to make mixtapes.
I definitely learned how to make them at a point in time.
He's like, he wasn't tired of buying them, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. LimeWire, FrostWire, Pirate Bay, the whole shebang.
Get the blank CDs.
Say, I got the April mix right here.
So to go back to that, like, tell us about like how it was growing up, how was life, what transitioned to make you that entrepreneur type of thinker? Like what sparked that? What outside of the selling candy as a kid?
So like, you know, growing up, all I had was my mom, but my dad passed when I was at a real early age. So I always lived with my mom and stuff like that. She just always used to tell me like, boy, I ain't gonna be here forever, so you gotta learn how to get it on your own type of thing. So I started out selling the candy, and then like one of my Nana friends, you know, he used to work at the flea market. So I used to hate waking up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, go over there with him, but that's $50 in my pocket every day. Half the time I'm sleeping in the truck or, you know,
doing anything.
Organizing hangers and stuff. Somebody walk up, you gotta talk to him.
That's like the easiest job you had, huh?
I used to stack me up some little money. I ain't have to worry about nothing. And then that like kind of parlayed more into the candy aspect. You know, I started selling candy in school and stuff, and then around the neighborhood, I was cutting grass. Me and my boy was cutting grass when I lived in 7 Hills. And then after that, I started working. I got my first real job, things of that nature. I started working on Upper Bound at school. Okay. I was teaching kids how to read. I told them, look, teach a little bro how to read. To be honest with you, I was probably the worst person trying to teach somebody how to read at the time.
I was like, I don't really know what that say.
They didn't teach me how to read. You taught my little brother how to read, though. Oh, my little brother was in the summer program. Oh, yeah. This my little brother, he was like, he just, whatever he could get into, he got into it.
But like, the candy was the most consistent hustle. I remember being in 6th grade, I switched schools, where we could carry our book bags around the school, and we would always meet in the gym before school. So what I would do is I would just hold my book bag and like I'd be standing like on the sideline, but like at half court, everybody just, hey,
Let me get that. You had your
Gotta
whole routine.
Gotta get them snacks.
I remember being, because we had security guards at the school. I remember being in the lunchroom one day. I had like a stack of ones, but it's like 100 ones. I'm in there counting my money. Security guard walked in. See, boy, put that up for supply. Take it.
Ain't taking my money.
I thought I was somebody.
She would have took it. That would have been a great there.
Man, like I just hustled for that. You ain't taking this.
Auntie would have been.
Yeah. And I had a lot of different hustles. Like I make merch. So like this, the games family, that's like my fitness community. So like I make the merch for that. I found out how to do that when I was in college. Coach Snow.
Mm.
I went over to his crib one day and he had made me a shirt. I said, "That's how easy it is." He said, "Yeah." I kid you not. 2 days later, I bought all the stuff I needed. So I started making stuff.
Like, you was gonna find a hustle. That's one thing about you. You gonna find something, some way to make some money.
I like to do too much. I can't be broke.
Once you learn how to flip it back and.
So is it
Speaking of doing too much. Nah, bro. High school, Vontae, you was a busy guy.
I still am.
You still is. But I'm saying, like, nah, you right. You right. My boy DJ, like you said, poet, personal trainer, whatever you want him to be, as long as we can work out a fee, he do it all. But like, how was it doing all of that in high school and still like, you know, some people, they make money, they be like, shit, fuck sports, I'm making too much bread. How you keep that drive to still like, and the love for sports when you was making money?
Because sports is always, I think sports was like an escape for me. Like, my mama kept me in sports growing up so that I'd stay out of trouble.
Right.
Obviously, you know, growing up in the city, it's easy to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So she kept me in sports so that I would stay out of trouble. And it was something I was so used to that I just loved to do it. And then I think like mentally, like I had like a lot of rage and stuff built up. So like that was my escape. That was my coping mechanism. And then I actually enjoyed being competitive, the athletic part of the things of that nature. So I didn't want to like lose that and just be working type of thing. So I found a way to manage both of them at the same time.
What was your favorite sport?
Growing up, basketball was my favorite sport. I was not the best at basketball. I
thought he was going to the league. You couldn't tell by saying he wasn't the best, but
I remember Clark, because my mama drove the buses at the school. So like before I was driving, she'd take me, but she had to be there early. So I'm Coach Clark in the office early. I'm, hey, can I get in the gym? He'll pull out the shoot machine for me. I'm in there like 6, 7 in the morning by myself. Shit, you thought I was making a Michael Jordan story.
So nah, this is just my workout.
But I just love basketball that much. And then like I felt like I was decent at football, but then I actually I fell in love with track for real. Yeah. Track is what I actually love to do. Like I ain't never have a passion for football. It was just something like I just feel like, all right, I can go out here, play football, run into somebody, boom, and just have fun doing it.
Right. Dang, so track. So you say you a man?
Nah, don't skip over that. So how was your track career, Vontae? You know.
Okay, we just talk about the track career.
Yeah, you know.
So track didn't start. Actually, track was supposed to start when I was a little kid. Right. I used to live downtown and I went to Lincoln Center and they had like a little track team for all the kids. I signed up. I never heard about practice. I never heard about track meets. So one day I was over somebody's house and they lived right next to Tab and I heard some commotion. So I go over there and see what's going on. It's a track meet and the team I'm supposed to be running for is running in the track meet. I'm like,
ain't nobody gonna tell me. They ain't want you to still out of shine.
Mm-hmm. But then, speaking of Tab, me and my mama used to go to Tab and like we would run them out all the time when I was little type of thing. So I think that's where like my enjoyment in running and stuff came from. Yeah. But then I didn't start running track until my sophomore year of high school. That's because I was so invested into basketball. In my sophomore year of high school, made it all the way through the season, and the last track meet my last track meet of the year was like our conference championship, and in track, if people don't know, like when you run on a relay, your uniforms have to be in sync. And I had this Under Armour, it had Under Armour logo on the front and on the back. But technically, that's illegal.
Right.
I checked in with the rep beforehand. It cleared me. I finished running my lap. I get off the track, and then come up another rep tap me, hey, what
Disqualified.
Oh, my ass was fired up. We lost points because we got disqualified. We still won the meet, but we lost points. He told me to turn all my stuff in. I turned it all in, but then the next year I went back out there, and then that's when I really started like developing my running style and stuff like that. And I ran AAU track my junior year going into senior year that summer. That's where I learned how to run. And that's where like took the next level. That's when I found out how to kick it into that other gear. But like that 400, the 4x4, that was my favorite race track. That little thing anchored. Like I always want somebody to be in front of me. I always wanted to get
somebody to catch.
Oh, that 4x4, that was like then me and Rail, we ran the 4x1, 4x2 together. First leg, second leg, oh, we was a problem. That was I mean, we own that record for the 4x1.
Yeah, I broke my record.
It wasn't that hard to do.
It's cool.
Then we had the bad handout too.
Broke it with a bad hand.
That's cool. We broke ours with a bad handout.
Yo, that was the best race we ran.
Hey, look.
That was clean,
I'm gonna tell y'all something about that. The year that we broke the record, the whole season, we never had the same more about one team.
That's cool, but look.
The entire season, even when we broke the record in that state, it was never the same.
But y'all was going for the record though?
Nah, we just was racing. That's what I mean. It was never, because you gotta think who was on our team. So
all I know is when we broke it, we didn't even know. They had to tell us.
Yeah, they told us too. They was like, y'all broke the record.
Who told y'all? One of y'all teammates?
It was X-Time. X-Time was our coach. Was he y'all coach?
Nah, he wasn't our coach, but I know you talking about.
Yeah, X-Time was our coach.
It was last year coaching there. I was in like 8th grade.
Because after we had went to state, he ended up retiring from coaching and started the timing thing. And he was doing like all the track meets, him and his wife.
Man, Butts me with him.
Yeah, doing that thing. But back to you.
Don't game me, Holly. So you ain't gonna game Giannis.
How did
he cold
get into poetry?
He cold.
From all your hustles and your athletics and everything. And I know I think that poetry, it's not like you do it for money. You could probably get paid for it, but you really do it because it's something that you care about, really. So how did that come about? What got you into that?
Poetry is one of those things that, like, to this day, I still don't be believing that I'm capable of doing this type of thing. Because anybody like that know me, like when I was young and stuff, I've always been like a sociable, like, cool type of person, but I was always quiet, like reserved type of person.
Right.
I always been kind of shy, but the first time like I was ever really introduced into poetry, I had my teacher in 9th grade was Mr. Yaki. He used to do open mic Fridays.
Mr. Yaki.
So he was teaching us how to write it and stuff. So I would do that for that class, but after I got past that class, I never wrote poetry again.
Right.
And then I was like I stated earlier, like I had like a lot of rage and stuff built up. So then I stopped playing sports. I didn't have nowhere for that.
Yeah, there's that energy somewhere.
And I was very nonchalant. So a lot of times instead of like saying what I was feeling, I would type it in my phone. But I felt like typing it and just journaling it wasn't like that wasn't effective. Yeah. So I would write it creatively type of thing. And I would just be rhyming as I'm writing it. So I did that a couple of times. And then one day, I was in Louisville. I moved to Louisville in 2021. So at the beginning of 2022, me and all my boys, we went to the Cave and Rock. But one of them, he was like, I do poetry, I do public speaking, all this, that, the third. So he let me hear something. And I was like, hey, I wrote something before too, listen to this. So then he told me about an open mic, which parlayed into me becoming a member of the Louisville Living Room. He told me about an open mic. He said, he took me to it. He was like, you want to perform? I'm like, if I got to do anything like they doing, I got to go write something.
Yeah.
I think I might have went home that night or one of them nights after that. And I sat and I wrote like a reference piece because this dude, his name is Outlaw G. He had a reference poem where like he did a bunch of Stone Cold Steve Austin references. Okay. So then I went home and I looked at like my Apple Music playlist, and I did like R&B reference. So I got a series of poems called like the Love Jones poems. That was the first poem I ever wrote to perform. I got out there to perform July 3rd, 2022. First time I ever performed poetry out in public. And ever since then, I just been like elevating. Like my first year in poetry was crazy, man. I just started performing different places. I actually started to develop my writing style. I dropped a poetry book. They have like poetry competitions called poetry slams. I had won some of those. So like this all happened within my first year. So it was like that gratification that kept me going. And then at the same time, like mentally, there was an escape and outlet for me. So like when I get on those stages and I write, like if something like to make me mad, like right now type of thing, if I was to write about it, it'd be like that release.
Yeah, like it's done.
Okay.
It's out now.
So like that.
It almost feels your competitive drive and also instrumental.
Yeah, because like if I go to a poetry event and I see somebody up there and they talking crazy, I say, you know what? You about to make me get in my bag.
I got fire back.
For real. And it don't even be me competing with them. It just be like, yeah, I like that right there. Right. So let me get up there and do my thing.
Iron sharpen iron.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. As far as like the poetry stuff goes, like where would like somebody like me, where like if I have no idea, where would I find like a competition, or like if I wanted to get into that, like how would I venture to find that?
So my first place to tell everybody is first you gotta start writing. And if you write anything, you have to perform it somewhere. If you just write, you can write poetry all the time, but I won't consider you like a poet until you actually like share your work type of thing.
Right.
So, but the way that you could actually get into that lane, nowadays I would say you can Google search, actually that's the first thing I ever did to try to find an open mic.
Just like a coffee bar or like something like that.
Because what was crazy is I seen one of my boys I went to school with. He had just posted a video, like he ventured off and he just said he randomly did a poem one day. And I think December of 2021, I had texted my best friend. I said, I think I want to do an open mic. So I got on Google and I typed in open mics in Louisville. And it showed me some places that had them. And then you can also go to Instagram, Facebook. You type in open mic, poetry, whatever the case may be, and it might pop up some, and you can find some events that way. But if you know somebody that support, that's the best thing, because typically they're tapped in with somebody that knows something type of thing. But because I started because I knew somebody who wrote poetry, and they told me about an event type of thing. So everybody's journey can be different, but I just recommend just doing your own research type of thing. And then like if you know somebody or you see somebody online that says something, feel like, hey, I'm interested in doing to a type of thing, and like, how do I get started?
Yeah. So I want to rewind back to like post high school, college. A lot of people don't know unless they know you went to college on a football scholarship. Then you had to stop playing. Talk about like why you had to stop playing, when, and just like that whole transition and basically not being an athlete no more into being a poet and DJ all that other stuff.
So I'll even take it back a step further. I remember being a sophomore in high school. I told my mama I wasn't gonna go to college unless it was like free. If I had to pay $1, I wasn't going. And then that's when she was like, you're gonna have to pick up a trade, go to the Oaks or something. And then I realized that like if I went to the Oaks, I probably wouldn't be able to meet the coaches at Mount Huddy or like get recruited and stuff like that. But like to be transparent, when I was playing football my senior year, I didn't even want to go to college football. I didn't think I was good enough to go to college football. I just wanted to play house like that. That happened for me, and then like school started coming in, so I ended up getting a full ride scholarship to East Tennessee State. I redshirted my freshman year, and I went in as a corner. And when spring ball started, they moved me to safety. I actually enjoyed it a lot better because they wanted me to play safety in high school, but that just wasn't. I didn't like it. I wanted to play corner. I wanted to be physical.
Right.
So then my sophomore year, I strained my hamstring. I strained my hamstring like 3 or 4 times within like a month, 2 months span.
Mm.
So I missed out my whole fall camp. I was able to come back. My first game I played was like our 3rd game of the season, and I was playing kickoff. I went down on kickoff, trying to make a play. Kicker actually kicked it in the end zone, but the coach said whoever last is coming off kickoff. So you better make yourself down. I took off. You'd have thought somebody shot me running down the field. Fell face first. I was out for 2 weeks. The day before I got cleared. Now, I'm telling this based off of like what was kind of told to me because I really don't have a lot of recollection of the situation. But one day I was driving my car. I missed a turn. I hit I guess you call it an embankment. So I hit like a guardrail and my car went airborne. Over 100 feet. So it went airborne like off of like the cliff type thing into somebody's backyard, across the street, and into somebody else's field. And must have knocked me senseless, but I still was able to function type of thing. So I guess I must have got out looking for help. And when I got out looking for help, I got hit by that. To this day, I couldn't tell you how I made it through all this. By the grace of God, now I know back then. After I got hit by the car, they left me there. And I guess I walked all the way to the bottom of my apartment complex, which was probably like about half a mile. And when I actually came to, I was sitting on the curb, and like my ex at the time, she was standing in front of me, ambulance, police department all around me and stuff. But the effects, the stuff that I experienced from that is like I fractured my skull, and I suffered from what they call subdural hematoma, which is bleeding on the brain. And then I had nerve damage as well. So like I pinched like all these nerves back here. Like to this day, like if I put my hands up like this left hand, it doesn't like straighten out all the way unless I forcefully do. Right. Because I still have nerve damage in this hand right here. But I lost my sense of smell for a whole year. I couldn't like feel my body for like weeks at a time. Man. Like I couldn't take care of myself, things of that nature. So like by the grace of God, I had somebody there that could help me through that situation. But I wanted to get back out there and play. Coach was like, it's probably not the best idea, trying to, I guess, protect themselves from anything and then also care about my well-being at the same time. So what they did for me is they allowed for me to film instead of like playing and keep my scholarship. Wow. Them telling me I couldn't play football no more, it hurt. But I remember being in the weight room because I would still work out with the team. So I had to be, not bed rest, but inactive for like 5 months. Finally started back working out. And then the next season during spring ball, I was working out with the team. Coach came in to the weight room. He pulled me out. He was like, pretty much like, can't work out with the team no more. Like you can still use this here, but you can't do it with the team. That broke my heart more than anything. Because like, I love to work out actually more than I love to play football. Right. So when he told me that, I ain't gonna lie, I was cried at the time. But like that stopped me from playing football. It stopped me from being like an athlete in a sense, like on a team. Competitive. Yeah. And like I would still go play intramural ball, like flag football and stuff. But staying in the weight room all the time, that's where my escape was. That's where I put the release, That's the only release that I had at the time. So it's like, that's why I got tired of being little. Like when I graduated high school, I think I was 164 pounds. Now I weigh 200 pounds, but that's because that's how it's been for me.
Would you say that experience is what got you into the Gaines family, like that community, or because you did say you do a little personal training and stuff, is that what kind of transitioned you into that, or?
Well, actually, no. I would just say that's what sparked my the gym being a lifestyle. Yeah. But the Gaines family, this actually started September of last year. So last August, I took a break drinking, social media, all that. And one morning I was in the gym and I was thinking to myself, like, I don't want to be a personal trainer to say the least because I don't want to mix business with like my escape. Because once those two start to mix, I feel like I lose my drive there. So, but I was like, I still want to create a place where people who are on their individual journeys, whether they be a beginner, whether they be bodybuilder, personal trainer, whatever the case may be, they can come together, we can support each other, motivate each other type of thing. So that's where the game family came from, and that's why I'm very passionate about that aspect of it, because it's something I love to do, and I love to see people succeed. So me just being able to be that reason that people can come together and do that and not even know anybody, to say the least. I'm probably one of the only people in the group that knows everybody.
Right.
Some people I've never even met in person, but like we've established relationships just because of that community that we're in.
Hmm. Interesting dude, man. He got a lot going on, like Rail said.
My boy did some things, seen some things. So when did we finally parlay into DJing? When did that become?
So DJing came after poetry. So I started poetry, and like I was saying, like I'm a member of the Louisville Living Room. So my boy, his name is Chris Rice, he goes by Deep Sea Rice, he lives in Louisville. He was hosting the open mics, and this is his, like, he started this. He started the Louisville Living Room, and when he started out, he was doing his own everything type of thing. And then, like, he met people along the way that was on their same journey, and we all just came together as like a family. But we hosted our own events, we performed, did our own photography, videography, DJ'd on our own self-taught. And then at a point in time, I'm just like, I'm tired of just being a poet within the group, and I wanted to learn how to do more. So I've like learned how to host. Not the biggest fan of like hosting, I can do it, but when it came to DJing, actually when I found out how to do it, he taught me a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, I like this.
That's it right here.
And it's like one of those escapes for me, because like once I get in that mode, it's like, you ever be playing a sport or something, and then like you get in that one mode where you just lock in.
Yeah, you want your zone.
You ain't thinking about nothing else. Like I just get behind the DJ board, I ain't gotta say nothing to nobody.
Right.
There's been plenty of times when we had a poetry event, I just type on the show like, hey bro, my social battery is gone. I sit back here and just DJ the whole time.
Just be in your zone.
Mm-hmm.
Like people dancing, moving.
Keep the crowd going.
Yeah.
Like I ain't gotta say a word, so I'm just cool. So like I like it because one, I don't have to like physically interact with people, but I can still kind of control an audience and still have
we can still touch, basically.
Yeah. That's where DJ came from, and then I just found a love for it. It's like, you know what? Hey, I get in my bag and do what I do.
So are you just keeping it to DJing events, or would you try to get into more like DJing for like music artists, or like like how DJ Fresh do stuff for like mixtapes and stuff, but he also do parties and stuff like that. I just say him because that's one that we know about from the city and everything. But I know that some DJs they start off just doing like parties, and then they venture off into producing different albums.
Like DJ Khaled?
Shit, DJ Khaled too. Shit. Or you need a mess.
But I feel as if I have the personality for it, but like in turn, like personally me, I'm a introverted person.
Right.
So I feel like me doing that all the time would like kind of just drain me. Mm-hmm. It's like, to be honest, whenever I DJ an event, whenever I drive home after I DJ an event, I will ride in silence.
You tired of all the music.
I gotta like,
you gotta decompress.
Yeah, like that decompression is real, but like I feel like I have the personality for it. A lot of people see it in me, but I just know myself, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to take it to that level, but I'm one of those people, dibble and dabble and everything.
Well, I'd say, do you think it's one of those things too where like you feel like if you just focus on that, you having the niche to want to be able to do, and anything you feel like you can do in the moment, you think it'll just interfere with that, and you'll kind of lose that kind of expression within yourself of being able to go, I can do this, this, that, that. Now I'm just only doing this.
I feel
Put you in a box.
Yeah, I feel like I can handcuff someone. So
yeah,
like speaking of that, like when trying to be performing poetry, I don't like using the mic at all. Like I feel like I'm like locked in and I can't move. I'm very like I talk with my hands. I'm very gathered. So I don't like to be confined, to say the least. And like my mind doesn't let me just sit still type of thing and just do one thing a lot of times, which can be a good and a bad thing. But I would say I do feel like it would minimize me some because I feel like I can do so much. But at the same time, I feel like if I devoted all my time and energy to something, I could excel at it.
What would be the one thing if you had to only choose one? Which one would you choose?
I'm gonna say poetry. DJing can make me a lot more money, but I'm gonna say poetry because of what it does for me mentally and like how it makes me feel type of thing. Like DJing, if I gotta DJ 4, 5, 6 hours, that's a lot of pressure. For real, because like you gotta make sure you maintaining this crowd, like you're watching the whole time. You can't really have no down moment.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to like poetry, I know at max at shows where they run it strict 7 minutes, I know I can get off 2, 3 points. That 7 minutes, the crowd can go crazy.
Right. Yeah.
So
And it's more just like personal self expression too,
Mhm.
because like, yeah, like growing up, like my dad being a DJ as well, and knowing how that life works, and everything, you could find self expression in that, but it's not the same when you write your own words in paper and be able to like convey whatever emotion you feel like it's in that you can let out
yeah,
in that, like you said, in that 5, 6, 7 minute time span. So I feel that.
because people have asked me before, like when I write stuff, they hear me perform, they be like, "You be meaning what you be saying?" I be, "Of course."
Yeah.
Like,
You think I was just sitting at home just doing this shit? I meant every word. This shit came from the heart.
And like a lot of nobody will understand my writing style because like they're not me. And but I don't really like to write like prompt or like say if I ask give me a topic to write about. I don't really
Like that.
I don't really like it because I feel like it confines most of my 99, 95% of my poems. It starts with me just having a random thought in my head. And I view it as like a rapper in the booth just punching it. Like I'll literally sit there, I have running thought, I'll start with that, and then I'll build around them type of thing. So that random thought may not even be the first line of my poem. It may be at the bottom of the middle or something. But I'll just literally just punch in and just kind of just flow it type of thing. So I would say, yeah, like, but to that point, like, when they ask me, it's just like, what's up, baby?
It's like live out.
While I take the time out of my day to write something down and just go, yeah, I kind of just, I don't mean that.
Right.
But that's also why I'm like, so if you watch my performance, it's very passionate because like what I'm saying is like what I feel.
How many phones would you say you have written down right now on your phone?
256, if I'm not mistaken.
You know off the top, like you know that for sure.
You gotta think how much. You gotta think how much you write. You're going to look at it.
Now I would say like 30 to 40 of those are unfinished, but over 200 are finished.
Or have most of those you've read, or those ones you've never read, like aloud?
Some of them, I would say probably 70% of them I have read. And that's because sometimes I just write or to get it out, but I feel like everything that I write isn't meant to.
Yeah, sometimes just to close that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Like I have some poems, like this one poem specific that I could think of, actually, but one in specific that I was just like rereading today. Something happened and then like it made me write that poem. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'll ever perform this, but if I was to perform this, somebody gonna feel some type of way about it. I wouldn't care that somebody would feel some type of way about it, but it's just like,
Ladies.
oh, absolutely.
You kind of just like go back and like have like poems where you read just like self motivation, or would you say it's just kind of just whatever feels you're conveying in the moment?
Whatever feels like I'm conveying in the moment. It's just like I said, it's that random thought that pops in my head, and I just right off of that tape.
Do you got a favorite poem that you wrote?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
hey. Oh, you had to ask me that. Now I got to
Look, he's spilling the beans.
Your man just told you got 256 in there.
Yeah, out of that 250, and for real, his favorite one probably ain't even in the 256.
All right, let's do this instead. That was kind of
That's too much, but
your favorite poetry performance so far, and your favorite DJ gig that you did.
All right, my favorite poetry.
And then least performance for both of them too.
All right,
The least favorite out
my favorite poetry performance is the first time I ever received a standing ovation.
yeah.
We do this thing called like living room week with our poetry group, and then like one day I wrote a poem and I had never like really let anybody hear it, and then I just performed it one day, and as soon as I finished performing, like everybody's clapping, standing up. Somebody walked out the crowd, walked up on stage, dabbed me up.
Oh, that's dope.
I was like, oh, this one of the ones.
I am as good as I think.
Was that the only time you performed that one?
No, I performed it. So that's what I would like consider like the poetry slam piece, but it's one of my more lifting ones. So I performed it quite a few times, but I literally haven't performed this poem. I think since August last year. Okay, I think since August of last year. But I said I was like put it to rest type of thing. If that's one of them, like I never posted on social media or anything. Like a lot of my poems, like my good ones, I've never even posted on social media. I gotta be better at posting, but I would say that was my favorite poetry performance. My least favorite, probably something at the beginning where I felt like it was all right. So I used to write like erotic poems, and there was a point in time where like just spilling the beans. I used to go to an erotic open mic and like they would always ask me to take my shirt off. And so I would perform with my shirt off. But the first time I ever did it, I can't even remember what poem I did. But I felt like cringe. One, I don't really like to talk about that type of stuff like out in public. And to take
I
my
feel like that takes a whole nother person, like comfortability. Especially starting out, like
yeah.
Like, I just really like to go like, hey man, I'm about to get his poetry shit, and then like,
I
like,
couldn't
hey,
do
man,
that. I can take my shirt like
you do like the erotic thing. You're like kind of like,
take
I
my
mean, I
shirt
guess
off.
I can try. And you get up there, you just don't even feel right.
But like, I can take my shirt off in public because it's different. Like, you know, football, track, you know, you know, the practice.
I could read a poem from your heart.
And like, everybody popping top on the hot day. Females out there. But you asking me like, can you perform with your shirt off like I'm some type of show pony? Like that's a little like,
it's real. They
no, I don't want to take my shirt
like
off
this,
now.
like,
That's like an old lady. Like you take the old lady groceries in for her or something. She be like, "Oh, thank you, strong man."
And it's
When
like,
I touch your ass or something, you be like, no, like, what you mean perform my shirt off? Like, nah, I'm going to a different one.
I did it quite a few times because I performed there quite a few times. Because, but the first time was like real uncomfortable for me. But then I kind of got out of that. So I would say that was my least favorite. I don't even remember thinking about performing. It was one of my early erotic pieces. And then my favorite DJ performance. I don't know if I have like a legit favorite one, but like after we would finish our open mics, like I just fell in love with DJ. I just started DJing and just being able to control the crowd and see them going. I would say that would be my favorite, and then least favorite.
Sure, they had you messed up with paint.
You know what? I forgot all about that.
Say that you messed up with the page.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got a lot. I know a lot, but that's really my brother. So you know, that's why I be throwing the line. That's why I be throwing the line.
You know what? Get that off my chest.
But spill the beans on there, brother.
Because the way that I typically operate, so first off, I did an event for this person. They booked me. They gave me half my deposit up front, and then I always accept the rest of my payment before I start. Right. Okay, the first event I did that, paid me up front, boom. Thing is, they booked me for like, I think like 5 hours. And I think it only lasted like 3 or 4. They told I literally, because I knew I was supposed to be here for a specific time. Everybody was leaving, packing up. I'm talking about it's only the people that's put the event together still there leaving. A lady's walking past me. She looked in the room. She said, "Boy, stop playing." That's all you gotta tell me to do. She told me to stop playing. I packed my stuff up. I left. This lady called me like 2 months later, at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
So not the host of the party, somebody else.
Nah.
Or the host of the party told you.
right?
No,
It's the
somebody
same
else.
person that booked it before, right?
Yeah, no. So the host didn't tell me,
Okay.
but like she was there.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Then the host called me like 2 months later, and she's like, you know, we got a Christmas event coming up. Can you do the DJ for us? Cool. Then she follows up. First off, she asked me how long it was, told her how much I was going to charge her. Then she follows up. She was like, well, last time, you didn't DJ the whole time, so you think we could get a credit or get some money? I took like a 5-second pause. I was like, no. Because like that wasn't like on me type of thing.
Yeah.
Like if it was
Y'all
on
cut
me,
it short.
yeah,
Right?
then cool.
Was there a reason why they cut it short? It was just like
The
well,
event was just over.
why would they book you for?
They didn't know.
You know, old
They
people,
thought it was gonna
you
be
know what I'm
longer
saying?
than it was,
Mm-hmm.
and
So do you have contracts to avoid that, or no?
Like,
Just
no,
kind of
I
like
need to be better with that aspect of things. But then so we agreed to that event. We agreed on, I think this one was supposed to be like 4 hours. I told her how much the money was, or told her how much it was going to be. So when I showed up for my deposit, she didn't have all the money.
so she.
And then before I left from being with her, I was like, and I wasn't tripping because I had done business with her before. I'm like, all right, look,
like I'll probably give my money.
Yeah. So then I'm like, I reconfirmed the time with her. She was like, no, it's supposed to be this time. Keep in mind, anytime somebody does business with me, I instantly put it in my calendar. Right. So I had the time set in my calendar. I said, no, you said this. You said, no, it's supposed to be this. So I was like, all right, well, it's going to be this amount. I get to the event, I set up. I didn't play no music. I did not start playing no music. She's moving around trying to set everything up. And then, like, I stop her. I'm like, hey, can I go ahead and get the rest of the money type thing? She said, I got you, just, But she's running around. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to give her some time.
Right. You're just trying to be as respectful as you can.
I kid you not. I set up like 30 minutes before. I was there for, like, from the start of the event, I was there for a whole hour. Somebody else came up, she's like, they're reading that you're not playing music. I said, I'm just waiting on my money. I sat there for a whole hour. People showing up every day. I ain't playing not a lick of music.
That's so awkward.
So, she go get the host. The host come around the corner like,
hey man, I need my music, man.
She said, can you come here and talk to me? She's like, what's the problem? I said, I'm just waiting on my money. The money's here. Like, why you ain't started playing? I said, well, why
I didn't get my money. Like,
I said,
she holding on to the money?
Yes, because she knew what happened the last time, and if that happened again, she wasn't gonna try to give me all my money.
she was gonna try to get
But that's not your fault.
When they cut off, like,
if anything,
If you booked me for 5 hours and I'm here from start to end, and y'all decide to say, all right, y'all, we going home, they ain't got a lick or nothing to do with me.
I paid. I'm married. I had a wedding. I paid for a DJ. We used every minute.
You better.
I'm telling you now. Even so, we had to be our venue. I'm just guessing. If we had to be our people had to be gone by like 11. Our DJ was there till we had him booked till 11:30, 11:45. Because if there was any overage or anything, guess what? He played his music. Even if we cleaning up, he's still playing music because I paid for that.
Exactly.
It costs way too much money. I'm using my whole allotted time. That's crazy.
Yeah,
How was that wedding, Mike?
It was all right.
That's good.
It was all right.
It was all right.
Hey, I get to be at my first wedding,
How you got turned up?
I'm gonna turn up. I get to be at my first one this summer.
Hey,
I know a couple people that ain't got married.
yeah.
3 people in particular who called me their brother. I ain't even get it.
Invite.
So everybody knows Dante, he was supposed to be his +1, and Dante did not ask Real for the +1. And Dante came by himself and proceeded to drive all the way down to Atlanta right after being on my way for an hour to go to Travis Scott concert.
It was Kentucky.
I thought he drove down Atlanta.
Travis Scott was Kentucky.
Then I don't know where he was driving like Atlanta that night.
Atlanta, that was for something else.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what he
That was
drove.
another one.
That was a mission.
He didn't even
That's
eat
too
food.
much. That's too
He didn't even
much.
eat food. He went, all right, bro. Appreciate you, man. Congratulations.
I forgot what.
Out.
That day, I seen him that day.
He drove out of state. I
He
don't
was
know
like,
where
no,
he
he was
drove.
like, I'm going to Atlanta like, I'm like, Atlanta?
Yeah, by himself.
But I'm
He
like,
got in the car by
we was
himself.
like, I think we was doing something.
Man,
I'm like,
nah.
where you finna go? He like, oh, I gotta go. Michael and Megan wedding today. I said, oh, that's good to know.
Like, dang. Like, you felt something. Damn.
That's what's
It's
up.
today?
I ain't
You know
even
what's
say-
crazy?
I don't
Start
even
checking
know.
your messages.
I don't even know
like,
if I told him I said
Did
congrats.
she even showed you? We still have the Google spreadsheet. On that computer, I edited the stuff
But
on
is
it.
my name on there?
It said Dante and then Braille in parentheses was the +1. He just never confirmed with us.
So really, you skipped this wedding?
Really? No, he had the
Fuck, I
invite.
skipped some shit I didn't get invited to, Tom.
He had the invite. He just needed to show. So it was one
That's
play.
like I throw a
didn't-
birthday party and be like, Tuck, you ain't show up. And you be like, oh, you ain't invite me. And I'd be like, oh, my bad. I had your name on the invite in my notes. But I never told you.
Okay, I got you.
So
I tried to fight for you.
I paid for this wedding. My brother already broke.
He's
You know how much invites or something cost?
He's
I
like,
already paid for his plate, so it ain't even I ain't even
He said, fuck the invite, I paid for your food.
I mean, that's almost $30 a head.
Talking about how much invitation.
You know what's-
Fuck that piece of paper.
You know what's so crazy?
Thanks me.
So this is how crazy they was. So the meals was like original. So we paid like $12 to like $15 a meal a head. So we waited almost a year for like actually get married. So we were engaged for a while, and we had already went to the caterer. We already booked our date. They increased their prices from that same plate from like 13 or 15 to like almost like 20 some dollars. So when we went back to confirm, the lady's like, yeah, so it's gonna be this price. We went, whoa. And she went back, she was like, oh, you guys got lucky. We changed that. That plate is like now 20, it's like $22 or $23 a plate for that same plate. So like the amount of money, think about that. We have like,
that's money, bro.
I was gonna say my shit was just sitting there getting cold, but nah.
Somebody.
Big
Somebody
Dan was in there.
yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Good,
We had fried chicken. I think we had fried chicken.
All right, anyway, back to what we
Yeah,
talking
it
about.
was, hey, boy, you was living.
Yeah,
But
back
nah,
to
man,
my
back-
question.
Yeah.
Favorite poem.
Oh, my favorite. Hey, Joe, it's crazy. I have a poem called Favorite Poem.
That'd be the one then. It's like,
Nah, it's called Favorite Poem because I actually like the Tusi song.
yeah, I know what you're saying.
So like I did a remake of that song into a poem. I'm gonna say my favorite poem. It might have to be that one I got a standing ovation of. Yeah. I don't like to do it too many places because it's just like the theme of it. Like you gotta read the room sometimes. It's either that one or my Welcome to the Hood poem. Welcome to the Hood. Yeah. Welcome to my
You said something about reading the room. So, has there ever been a time where you had a poem like I'm about to perform this, and then you get up to the mic, or where you don't like to have a mic when you perform, but when you get up on stage, you like, this ain't the poem for this crowd.
So the way that works is like, a lot of times I do come, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna perform these poems. If I go first, I perform those poems. But if somebody goes before me and I feel like I'll watch how people are reacting to certain topics people are talking about.
Right.
If I feel like that ain't hitting, I'm gonna go in my bag and I'm gonna just do this.
I'm sure that could get crazy in the room because it could be from just anything, like politics, like
People could talk about anything. So somebody always told me to do like Mr. Spread Love. He said you always gotta have at least like 4 to 5 poems in your bag that you could just spit off of it.
No matter what.
But the thing is, I have like great memory. So like memorizing my poems is something I've always done. I do not like to use my phone. If I have to use my phone, I would do a completely separate phone type of thing. So I always memorize my poem as I'm writing them, which is with my writing style, it helped me because like I said, I'm punching in, so it's like I'm constantly repeating the same lines until
it's embedded in your
Mhm.
brain. But how long are most of your poems, would you say?
a lot of them, the average one is like 1:30, 2 minutes type thing.
And that's just
like a
from
song,
like a reading
or a
standpoint,
verse.
so like you conveying the message, or like if you just like freehand read, like I could read that like in a minute.
If I was just to read it, it'd probably just take a little bit less. But when I write my stuff and then I go back to like try to memorize it, I memorize it as I'm going to perform it, and I time myself every time. So like, if you gave me a specific amount of time, I know exactly. Say for instance, you gave me 7 minutes to perform, and you said I had 3 poems to do. I know exactly what 3 poems I can do, how long it's going to take me, and I know how to segue in between those with enough time in between to be sure that I don't go over my 7 minutes. And that's going to include my intro, and that's going to include my outro.
Wow. Right. Okay. Dang.
Have you ever thought about like kind of taking that poetry and like your ideals and like trying to make it into music, or like not like you performing it, but like maybe writing for somebody else or
Ghostwriting. I think I could give people like a lot of ideas with ghostwriting. My problem is I don't think I've ever found like a flow
that you like.
Yeah. So I know how to write some bars, but actually the flow of it, like from a music standpoint, that's the struggle part for me. And that's where I feel like it would cause like a little like friction. Not necessarily friction, but it wouldn't be flow as smooth.
So if you was to do some music, you would rather like read the poem before like a song or something, like how Wale or somebody
like something like that. Yeah,
that'd be tough. I ain't gonna lie.
Somebody that asked me to do that before, it just never happened.
Work out.
But like, if I was to, because I dropped a poetry book called The Soda Speech. It's actually on Amazon and stuff. You can find a link in my bio on my Instagram. But if I don't think I would write a book again because reading my poems don't do them justice. I feel like I would do like a poetry EP or something like that. And just kind of flow over a beat.
That's live. Has that been done before?
Yeah, people have done it.
I ain't been big in poetry,
but
a
lot of people have done it, but it's something that I feel like would be more suitable for me to do.
Damn, shit, that's suitable for the times with everything being like people not really reading nowadays. I don't think it means unless it's like on their phone, or people rather be like driving and listen to something, or you know, just like the podcast or the ebooks and stuff like that.
Well, we was in Tennessee. Not Tennessee, I lied like a motherfucker.
Man.
We was in Lexington for a baby shower. And some dude drove from like, what, PA?
Yeah.
Like 7 hours. He said he listened to like 2 books the whole time.
That's what I'm saying, though.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
On the road, I need music. I be there, fell asleep, boy. Listening to a book driving.
I miss a live book, though.
Nah, but that's the thing, too. Like,
it's got to be something that's really interesting to catch you.
So where you just look like, damn. What's gonna happen? Like, what's going on?
So, like if it was like a Bill Belichick, like Art of Winning book, could you listen to that?
I could probably listen to like one of my like LaDainian Thomas.
I sound like, hey, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, man.
It'd have to be like one of my favorite. I can listen to like Allen Iverson talk about like, or Jeff T, like the way he be talking in his podcast, like somebody like that to tell stories. I feel like I could drive and just listen to something like that.
I listen to a regular. I listen it's half the time it's your podcast and music when I'm driving. Right. You definitely might have some meat in that book.
I ain't been around a long time.
Hey,
OG.
I listened to it. Never mind, I ain't gonna go there. That was too far.
Nah, I feel like I know.
Relax.
Spill the beans.
No, sir.
Spill the beans.
Who actually really was he thinking when he was doing that?
Do you got a favorite poet? Whether it's somebody that's up and coming or somebody that's like well established, it's somebody that you like their work pretty much.
So I would not one in particular. I'm not gonna say it's not one individual,
Right.
but I have a couple.
Okay.
So the two, like in Louisville, like my boy DC Rice and like Lance Newman, Mr. Spread Love, those are like poets that I've actually met. Those are my two favorite poets there. Like I actually like one of my poetry book, I like I gave them a shout out in there. I don't know what the specific term I'm trying to say is. Not big on words, but I know how to put them together.
I'm about to say, brother, you gonna spill the beans. Like, none of us big on words. We just put them together as best as we can.
But like poets that like are like, cause they known poets as well, but like poets that people that see everywhere type of thing. I'll say Black Chakra is one. I like his style. Matt Capone, I like his style. And then there's a dude named Obi West. He got a nice style as well. Like Obi West is more so his writing style. It's like I be like, bro, how do you write like that? So with Black Chakra, he got nice like the punchlines and bars and stuff. Oh, they delivered too. And then Matt Capone, he one of the real smooth dudes. Like he just talking. Yeah. Like, so it's like a mixture, but definitely my boy Deep C and my boy Mr. Spread Love, they both got it's like two. Deep C got a poem. I know that poem like the back of my hand, like it's my own. And then Mr. Spread Love, he performed his one poem. We was in a theater. He got a standing ovation for this. And that probably like was the coldest poem I've ever seen performed in person. I was yeah. That made me go right home.
Okay. Is it like a specific style that you like, that you prefer to perform? Because I know you mentioned a couple different style of poems. Is it a specific style that you prefer to perform or write about?
I find myself writing a lot of love poems. Like I do have a lot of love poems. I think love would be the number one topic.
Yeah.
Love.
Man.
We don't hate here.
Love, right?
We don't be hating here.
Yeah, but like I would say love would be my favorite style or topic, but I can perform it in a lot of different ways. Type of thing. I could be real subtle type thing with it, or I could be real theatrical, make it entertaining type of thing. And then like I like to talk about like the black community type of thing. Not necessarily like black power, social injustice, stuff like that. I don't really like to do it. But I feel like everybody's trying to write about that. Right. But like, just about the things that I've experienced, just being black and just like growing up, experiencing like, seeing the world through my lens type of thing. And the stuff that I talk about is extremely relatable. A lot of people experience it as well. So I would say like, those are my two top topics that I like to write about type of thing, but I could write about anything.
So outside of DJing and poetry, like, what's some other things you like to do for fun?
Oh, I would travel. You know me, I'm getting around. Yeah.
Monte gonna hop on the flight.
Put that stamp in that passport, or I'm gonna just jump on the road and go somewhere. I'll be somewhere almost everything.
And do that help with your poetry, give you different inspiration? I know that's just a hobby, but
it will. Like I can see something and do that. Like times when I'm sitting still and I'm really not doing nothing is the times that I struggle to write the most. Because I don't really have like the inspiration or I'm not seeing things. A lot of ways that like I'll find inspiration is if I'm in the crib, I'll just turn on YouTube and start watching different poets, and like I'll just see them. Like I said, if I see somebody going crazy, it's going to inspire me to do something. And then I might just get one line pop in my head. Like the craziest thing, those like not necessarily a documentary, but like vlogs they be doing on YouTube where they'll go visit somebody's hood or something.
Yeah.
So I was watching one of those. And this girl, she was doing the vlog, and she said something that she just said the word struggle. Or no, trauma. She said the word trauma. And just hearing that word caused me to write a whole poem about Trump kind of thing. And it's not like a saddening poem type of thing, but I'm just talking my talk type thing. And people can relate to it type of thing.
So your inspiration is more than sporadic, like from the moment on the go type of I'm gonna write about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just be in the zone from that moment.
I was on my balcony last night. I was smoking a cigar and I was on the phone with my boy. And then I just got a random thought. I was like, hey bro, I said, I'm about to get off the phone. I'm about to start to write a poem. So I want a whole poem.
That's what's up. That's talent right there too, that you could just do that like on spot like that.
And it's crazy because they just start piecing it together, and I don't know, I was just in that zone and it just started flowing after a while, and it's just like, hey, you really good. I done finished the whole
Favorite vacation you took so far?
Cancun.
Cancun.
I've been to Cancun twice, and both times they trying to tell you, might see me on the billboard out there. They gonna make me a mayor one of these days.
You gonna see this weekend. Hey, I see your billboard right here next to
Listen, Cancun don't hold me nothing. Last time I went with a group of people. They crowned me the MVP of Cancun. And boy, that was a wild trip.
That's a player shoot.
Man, MVP of the trip. Hey, that's different.
So what is a spot you would like to go to? Like favorite spot that you've seen, you like, damn, I'm gonna get there one day, or I'm gonna go there.
I would say that was Dubai for me. Dubai has always been at the top of my bucket list. I went there for my 25th birthday. And once I knocked that one off my bucket list, I didn't really have a desire to go anywhere else, but I'm willing to go anywhere. I've done a lot of fun-filled vacations, and I think I want to take one of the chill ones, but I want to go to one of the chill ones where the scene, you see it on TikTok, social media, something the scenery is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
I want to do one of those.
Have you thought about traveling to maybe go to an open mic overseas, or somewhere different crowd, different culture of people, and perform? Have you ever thought about that, or have you ever done that?
No, I've gone to different states.
Right.
See, me, I'm a very spontaneous person. I was in Cancun, and I got there before the rest of the group got there, a couple hours. I went up top of the rooftop party. DJ was over there. I'm just, hey, I need him too. The dude didn't believe me at first, and then I showed my face. He was like, oh, he really DJ. They let me jump back there. It's a whole food party going on.
Man,
I said,
that's
let
why
me
you're
DJ.
the MVP.
That was just the start of the trip. But I've done something like that before, but I've never performed poetry out of the country. Now that you're saying, I gotta put that on my bucket list now. I gotta cross that one off.
Especially just to see culturally how that affect different people.
I don't really respond to it. That'd be tough though, different language barriers.
Yeah. I feel
you have to go somewhere obviously that.
If you went to somewhere in Europe, I feel that would be I'm sure they got a bunch of stuff over there.
But that's the thing. I also have poems that can suit all different types of crowds too. That's why I say reading a room. I know what poems I can do in certain rooms. Obviously the crowd may not draw near to it every other crowd may be. And that's why I can be selective and say, all right, I think this poem here will fit more of this type of scenery I can think about you. Man, now I gotta go out the country and perform poems.
Take me with money to cameraman or something.
Hey, I've been saying that for my trips, I've been telling everybody that for my trips that I take, I be having the movies.
Have you thought about just vlogging?
See, my thing is,
you don't like to post.
I need to be in front of the camera. I don't need to have the camera because I'm probably lose it, or you're not gonna. You gotta post the camera up somewhere and just have it follow me, type of thing. Because I'm not gonna.
Basically, you need a cameraman on standby.
I done been in some crazy situations and only the camera could tell the story, type of thing.
Sure, man. Definitely appreciate you coming to the pod.
I have one more question.
Oh, go ahead.
I have one more question. So, this is something that's going viral around. I'm sure you guys have heard it.
Man, that gorilla gonna tell them all.
So, And your honest opinion, you team human or you team gorilla?
Team
100
gorilla.
men versus one gorilla.
Man,
100.
It's 100 men, no weapons,
You
versus
see what
one
the fuck
gorilla.
King Kong did with them niggas?
And they
With
always
weapons?
say
a
King
million
Kong.
feet.
He wasn't a million feet.
Nah, that gorilla might
I think I might be team human. Now hear me out.
100.
I hope
Hear
you
me
win
out.
that 100 people. They
Hear me out.
come beat
So
the sleeves off.
I'm not
I mean,
volunteering
ripping them
myself.
apart.
But if there's 100 people, the first 15 to 20, yeah,
Fucked up.
they done, or they either done or fucked up. But the next between 20 to like 35, 40, gonna have to be able to exhaust the gorilla by then. And then now you
They
got
bite
the next,
you.
now you got the last 60 or 50. Yeah,
I can't agree because
it would be have to be
You ever seen
strategically done.
You ever
But
seen
the
Animal
gorilla
Planet?
the first like 1 to like 40, yeah, 20 of those people are gonna be dead. But the other 20, I mean, you gotta want to be on the back end. Like you gotta be person like 85 to like 100.
I'm trying to be 99.
Yeah, you trying to be like 85 to 100.
Like, you know what? I don't even want to
It's gonna be the
smoke
99th nigga that get dunked.
I'm gonna be like, oh,
Now,
nah, you good. You
I
got it.
We all admit
Wrong
the first 5 to 15 people.
You better go find
You
them.
know how easy it is.
And I don't
for
even think
gorilla
they got a
to
chance.
kill
You gotta go
though.
find
But you
a
gotta
hundred
think.
of the best MMA wrestler and like
Even-
UFC motherfuckers you love.
Even
They
if-
still probably.
It's a matter of either exhaustion or strangulation. That's what it's gonna have to be.
Who gonna be the 100 people? My bad, Monte. Who the fuck we gonna send out there?
I don't know.
We ain't
The
get no niggas.
NFL
They cook.
gotta be them.
Them niggas
The
ain't out
JJ
there.
Watts, TJ Watts,
Cause you gotta think about
all
it.
of them niggas.
They
Hey, I'm
cook
telling you
from
right
the
now,
jump.
they
They gonna
ain't
try to
gonna
send
do that
niggas
off
like
of
Trent
pure
Williams and them
adrenaline.
out there. So when all the muscle gone at the beginning, the little niggas ain't finna do nothing with that
It ain't
gorilla.
no chance because the
Because,
gorilla
I
just
mean-
gonna rip them apart from.
But the
it's
gorilla
not-
can only do so many actions, and that's what I'm saying.
He
Like,
can throw 2 niggas at a time. That's all he
He
gotta
gonna be
do.
throwing arm. He gonna rip my arm and throw it
That's
at
what I'm saying,
Ram.
man. That's why-
I ain't in that honey, nigga. I'm a
Iterating.
gorilla.
The
I'm
first-
Watching on TV.
gonna be a
that 15 to
cornerboy.
20,
They
it's gonna be rough.
I'm gonna be his coach.
That
Look out
20
behind you.
that 25 to like 35, 40.
Cook. So what?
Now I don't think all of them would cook, but number one would.
On it.
Hey, if you
That
couldn't
is
give
an
yourself
average
100,
class.
I would want to be like in like the high 80s, like night, man.
So let's just say,
Like if I couldn't pick 100,
The gate for them.
like if I had to pick my number, I'm picking like
so let's
between
say,
85 and like
let's
90.
say this
I'm gonna
gorilla
just
in
be the
shape.
doorman, and everybody that walk past me like, you the fool.
You damn fool.
I'm betting.
And every, hey, every time we see, because we can't take one for every 20 niggas we see go down, take a shot.
Be like this,
Take a shot.
Well,
they
we
got
gonna be
nothing
done.
on me.
Like, well, he gone. Yeah, I'm taking
So-
the gorilla. I'm with
I'm telling you, man, I think 100 humans, because you would have to
seen the
play that
gorilla's
out.
teeth?
But you
Is
that's
this
what
an
I'm saying.
adult
But,
male gorilla? Hold on, that's the next question. Is this an elderly gorilla?
like, I'm not saying like
Yeah,
get
but
100 random people and just go and say go. I'm saying this
But I'm
is going to
saying,
have
is
to
it
be a
like
strategic meeting.
This
Knowing
grandpa,
like you watch a video. This last point out about the 100 versus 1. I'm obviously you can't just go willy nilly. I think strategically you have to make a plan the night before. You're gonna have to be able to show these dudes like the first like 20, bro. This is what's gonna happen. You gotta be prepared for like some dude arm to get ripped off, somebody to get like bit open, like chest broke open. But that last like battalion of like between 85 to 100, I think they'll be able to finish it off because.
All they got is their bare
I'm-
hands.
I honestly think the last. I'm not saying the initial. I'm not saying the initial because this gorilla's gonna exhaust at some point in
I'm
time.
just saying, niggas would
But like, if you got people just like gouging eyes, like it would have to be strategically. Like, but I'm not saying that the first maybe 30 aren't gonna
It
die.
can't
I'm
be
not saying that.
platoons either. It's gonna have to be all of them at once.
100.
You have to strategically do it though. You have to strategically blitz this gorilla.
You have to surround them.
That's what I'm saying.
Bruh,
And
you gotta
even then,
think.
he just gonna
He
pick one up
taking
and just
2 niggas and
swing
throwing them at
them all the way around. Like,
You got
not
two,
gonna
three,
get that
you got two,
close.
three dudes on the back trying to climb up, gouge an eye or something. Like I'm
Who the
telling you.
fuck is gonna jump on
That's what I'm saying. The first like 20, they already know they
Oh, we
died.
gonna be taking the shot for you, Mike.
Hey, I didn't say I'm a part of that first couple?
It don't matter. You
boy
in the
Mike.
So if you randomly got drafted in right now, you could be numbers.
Who the fuck getting drafted in?
I'm just saying, it's random.
You seen what Muhammad Ali did? That girl ain't did shit to
I'm
me.
draft dodge.
I'm not going nowhere.
Lock me up.
Throw away the key.
All right, boom. You wake up,
I ain't got no
and you
problem
just.
with the vehicle. I ain't got no problem with the vehicle.
All right, bet.
Take
You
your ass
go to
over
sleep
there.
tonight. You wake up tomorrow morning. You in the
You just
field,
in the cage.
but not other dudes. What the fuck you
Nigga,
doing?
this ain't Hunger Games.
It is now.
Because I'm going back to
I'm
sleep.
going like
Right. He ain't gonna, if he see me not mess with him, he ain't gonna mess with me.
So what you gonna do? Just sit in the corner, and then once and y'all theory, everybody dead. He just gonna be looking at you, last man standing. You gonna die too?
I'll be like,
What the fuck am I gonna do if I'm by myself?
That's what I'm saying. If you
Gorillas,
I might try to start fighting niggas so the gorilla think that I'm always. Yeah, bro.
you just increasing your own numbers. See, look.
I'm just saying, cause gorilla smart, he gonna be like,
Well, I was just
that
gonna say
nigga
that.
ain't hit me, so.
We can't work together.
He
It's
might-
like,
he might not fuck with me, but he ain't gonna
rocking
kill
another
me,
dude.
but-
Because gorillas smart. They see me put a nigga in the head.
He ain't gonna go
Or
friend
that,
nigga.
look, that nigga that try to gouge out his eyeball.
You ain't making friends
He
with
said, you
Billy
want
and
some too,
shit.
old man?
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna be
I'm with
Tarzan.
you, Harambe.
Yeah.
Tarzan.
See, look, you already see, look, as soon as you talking about her on, baby, see, look.
Oh, no smoke.
That's the most Cincinnati. I'm just gonna rock the first dude, so you think I'm helping? Nah,
Hey.
What you hit me for?
Yeah,
I
I'm
ain't
hitting him.
I'm gonna start making other shit. Hey, I think he broke in my house when he was young. I'm just starting making
You gotta put it in your mental.
I'm gonna be Bobby Boucher. What you said about my mama? I'm just see
It's
red.
gonna be 2 versus 99. Me and the gorilla.
Once about 10 other niggas see what time we on, they gon'
Then they gonna
be-
shot. Nah, bro, it's just us.
No, I'm gonna tap the gorilla. Get them.
Good.
So, do you think if you gave like a weapon, just one?
Yeah, if I had a weapon, easy.
Switch cheese. Switch it down, nigga.
So now we done gave you the weapon.
Now I'm in that
Now
bitch.
you
It's
in
just
there.
me.
You still gonna be the first one there because you gonna come out with the little spear.
Wait,
and he gonna go
Boom in the
boom.
spirit. Nigga, we said a
Instead of
switch.
No, you ain't getting no gun in this scenario.
What do you do in Don't Be Minutes? Do we
Have a problem.
No.
It ain't, bro.
Yeah, you act like I'm about to give you an RPG. All right, go fight the gorilla.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this question. Cause I just seen this.
All right,
Would
but
you rather get a chance to throw? You got 50 chances in the NFL game
okay.
to complete a 10-yard pass, or would you try to hit a baseball, a fastball?
To throw 10-yard pass.
Baseball's different, dog.
Yeah,
You talking about from an MLB
pass.
pitcher?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm gonna have to
Throwing
try to throw that pass. You're not hitting like I'm not realistically hitting a mound and hitting a
Wait,
MLB
wait,
pitcher.
wait.
Even if I throw a
How
duck,
many
one
chances
over
I
here,
got?
like Cat
Yeah.
Williams,
How many
but-
chances we get for both?
It's like 50, I think. You're not hitting no fucking baseball, so
yeah.
Nah, I'm sure.
Otani get out there and throw 50 fastballs. You hit one, you gotta hit it and play.
I'm
So
gonna
no,
hit
I'm
one.
not just saying in this scenario.
You
Does
gotta
he
hit
get
it
tired? Does
One?
Otani get tired? In
Just
this
one
scenario,
out
does
of
he get
50?
tired throwing 50, or is it just the same 50
I
every
can do
time?
that, bro.
This motherfucker coming
He
90.
ain't throwing
But I
90 every time. He can't.
That's all I'm
It's
asking.
not possible.
He ambidextrous. He gonna switch up. Now what? He throwing 90 every time.
Then yeah, I don't know.
Damn.
When's the last time you was in
Not
a back
Otani.
cage? What's the
You gotta
fastest?
think,
What's
you
the
think
fastest ball you
if you
hit
get 50
back ever?
chances,
Yeah.
Probably like 90.
listen to what.
I'm not
No, you
lying.
can go to
It went in
Back
play.
in back
It went in play.
No, we
That
went
shit
to the
was a-
back
No,
cage.
that
you
shit
can
was
go
a
to
flyout.
back cage.
That
You
He
can
said
go
a
to-
back
That shit was a
I don't
flyout.
know where it went. I hit
I'm
that
telling you where it
motherfucker. He said back cage, not on the field.
Shortstop caught that
Turn that
motherfucker.
bitch up.
What they
Now,
call
look, it could have been a
infield rule.
foul for all I know, but I hit that. I got contact.
So does that ball he needs to hit needs to be a
Yes, you gotta.
a hit?
It gotta be in play.
I'm
It got-
throwing that 10-yarder.
You might. When's the last time you like you
threw a football.
No, not through a football. Like you hit a baseball.
Nah, I ain't hit a baseball since then.
Oh, I bet.
Fucking
Yeah,
college,
you'll
high
be cooked if you try to
school.
do
No,
that right
I'm
now.
cooked. Ain't
You
grabbing
cooked.
it back.
I can throw that football though. 10 yards
Bro, you know the last time
on coverage.
I swung a baseball bat, I busted my head open.
Nigga, I ain't swung a baseball bat since T-ball. And
I tried to hit I tried to
swung it around.
No, I was in the backyard and he was throwing baseballs to me. stuff. And we ran out of baseballs, and all I had was basketball left. Man, oh, what a decision I could have made. I hit that ball, and the bat bounced
Bounce back.
I got stitches all right here.
Dang.
I didn't even know I was bleeding till I was in the house.
Like, oh,
I walked past the
that
kitchen
be
table.
scary one.
I walked past the kitchen table, and I'm just like, oh.